The Watership Down Podcast is intended for listeners who are familiar with the plot. There will be spoilers. This episode is filmed, edited and narrated by Newell Fisher. Hello and welcome to the Watership Down Podcast episode 207. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll have already noticed a difference. For the first time in nearly 2 years, you can see me again. If you listen to this on the audio podcast, the YouTube version of this will be released very soon after the podcast comes out, and I'll include a link to that in podcast notes. So, you'll be wondering, where am I today? Well, quite surprising to hear I'm in Hampshire, and I'm standing just outside Nuthanger Farm. So then, that's the public right of way that goes to the north of round Nuthanger Farm and to the north, but I'm going to start here. So in there, in the farm, first of all, sign of the times, you can see a modern robotic lawnmower doing the lawn. I haven't got permission to go in, so I'm not going to go any further than this. And also, excitingly, didn't expect to see these still there, you can see those toadstools, the stone toadstools holding up the barn. That's been preserved. That was the barn that they go under to try and get away from the cat, was it possibly? It's one of the places the rabbits hide before making a bolt for it. But I didn't expect that to still be there. That's fantastic. Who knows, one day I might get permission to go inside Nuthanger Farm, but that's not today. So today, simply what I'm going to be doing is following the route from Nuthanger Farm to Watership Down. So obviously there, you can see us just trying to adjust a little bit the path running out of Nuthanger Farm. We're not going to see the farmyard, and the view through the bushes along there towards the farmyard isn't very good, unfortunately. Winter would be a better time to get that view. So when Hazel and Blackberry enter the farm here, they hide around the corner. I think the farmyard's around that side there. I know the farmhouse is. And then Hazel stamps the alarm when he sees the cat. Blackberry just about gets away in time, and Blackberry comes bolting through this path and along here. And this is now the path we're going to follow. That walk, that run, all the way to Watership Down. So, goodbye Nuthanger. Hope I'll be back. And no sleep till Watership Down. So almost immediately we're getting into locations from the book and the film. Mainly the film in this case. Now in theory there's a ditch running along here, and this ditch is significant. This in the film, and it's pretty silted up now, I'm not sure it runs all the way along. I think I can see it through there. It's very overgrown. But that ditch there is the one the rabbits are going down from Nuthanger Farm after Hazel and Pipkin go into Nuthanger Farm in the film. And coming down this ditch here is where Bigwig hears the words Zorn, and where they encounter Captain Holly. Now those of you used to the book might be surprised to learn that, because later on we're going to be in the place where that happens in the book, which is at the foot of Watership Down over there. But in the film it happens here. Also, somewhere along here is where Hazel leaves Blackberry in the film, not in the book. Somewhere maybe halfway down this lane, because of course in the film they have Dandelion to run down this stretch, then Blackberry, and then Heisensley at the iron tree. So there are three of them. In the book there's only two, so Dandelion has to run all the way down this path, just lost sight of Nuthanger up there, all the way down to the road, and then Dandelion has to run all that way down to the road, and then Blackberry takes over from there and runs all the way up the down. That's pretty heavy going, so the three of them in the film makes more sense. So we've got a gap coming up here for some fields, and I can see some pheasants walking across the road. But let's say when we get to these trees here, that's roughly where Blackberry is left in the film. So we're past this gap now. So let's say, again, there is no ditch here. there is no ditch as such. Again, it's 50 years ago, so it might have overgrown. But let's say roughly, it's more of a ditch over here. But in the film, let's say roughly this is where Blackberry rather, is left. So Dandelion's come down there and Blackberry takes over here, roughly, and has to run all the way down there and to the iron tree, which we can't see yet. And there it is, off in the distance. Quite a sunny day, so I'm not sure about the focus here, but I'll try and get a focus on it. There's the iron tree. First sight of it, running down the lane. So I'll zoom out. So quite a long way, really, for a rabbit to run. I don't know if they'd be capable of it, but they are in the book. I'm so sorry about my phone's focus, which is ridiculous. It goes all over the place. But yeah, the iron tree. So now we're coming out of Nuthanger Lane onto the road. This is the road from Kingsclear to whatever the town is that way. Can't remember at the moment. And here's the gap through the hedge. And in the book, this is where Blackberry is left. And there's the route, the iron tree, and up to Watership Down. And Dandelion has had to run all this way. So now we are crossing the field to the iron tree. It's a good time of year to do this because it's been harvested, and in fact this is how the field was in the book. In the book it's described as having been harvested, which is why Hazel said to keep going, don't bother finding any cover, just keep going over this ground. This is the kind of ground they had to run over. And pretty easy going for a human, but with all this stubble I'm not sure how it would be for a rabbit. Aiming first for the iron tree, and then got the bit I'm not looking forward to, climb up the downs. That's where Heisenflay hides in the film, and she takes over from Blackberry. It's a bit further than it seems to be in the film, to the edge of the field. And here is that classic view. Halfway across the field now. So now we leave the iron tree and head towards Watership Down, where of course Bigwig is desperately fighting to protect the other rabbits from General Woundwort. So there's no time to lose. So in the book, Blackberry is on the second third of his journey. First one is across the field to the iron tree, second one to the edge of the field, and after that he's got the scarp cloak to deal with, which I'm not much looking forward to. Here in the film, Heisenflay has taken over and she runs this leg and then up the scarp slope. tree. We're slightly off centre, near the edge of the field now. And I'm going to rest in there and have some lunch. We've reached the rough ground at the edge of the field. This is a strip around the field that farmers are paid to, well certainly when we're in the EU, we're paid to leave for wild plants. I can't remember the name of it now, but yeah, it's a deliberate scheme. Just leave the edge of fields wild. And here we come to the inevitable fence. So I managed to get over the fence without too much major injury. And now we're into the kind of countryside that'd be a lot more familiar to rabbits. I've got to navigate this somehow. This is looking familiar from my other videos. Always end up in this kind of countryside eventually. I'll go get through this onto the open scarp slope, where I also hope to find the ditch at the foot of the hill. Now, that may possibly be down there, the remnants of the ditch at the foot of the hill. This is a very important location in the book. It's where Hazel is nursed to health after he's shot and they get him back to the foot of the down. And this may be it here. It's also, of course, where Bigwig, in the book, not the film, hears Zorn, and Holly emerges. But I think Holly emerges from undergrowth, so I think the ditch might be up here if we find it, but just in case it isn't, this possibly is the location of that ditch, a very important location where Fiver also has that conversation with Hazel about the nature of the other world. One of my favourite parts of the book. But we'll see if we can see one further up, just in case, because this is at the foot of the hill. That might be it. And look what we found. At the foot of the hill, some burrows. I think those are rabbit burrows, occupied by the look of it. Because in the book, of course, they find burrows halfway up the hill, which helped save them that first night. But yeah, like I said, good rabbit country. I've no doubt they get in there in the spring and have a good feed. Rabbits at the foot of Watership Down. I think I might have found a way through here, because it's an incredibly dense belt of trees. Like I say, very suited to rabbits, not so much to human beings. You can see why there's a rabbit here. But yes, this may be my breakthrough to the slope, possibly, which is proving quite difficult to get through to. Maybe not. We'll keep going. And actually, I think this is the ditch at the foot of the hill. Just a bit further up, there's a bank here. It's quite overgrown now. You can't really see it on film possibly. There's a definite ditch running on there. I think this might be it, like I say. Almost directly beneath Watership Down though. I've got to struggle through there to get to it. Once I struggle through, I'm going to have lunch, definitely. But yeah, I think this might be the ditch. Very significant location. Well, that was the worst undergrowth I've ever had to get through for this podcast. And we come to another fence. All this done with a joint condition. But no major injuries as yet. I think I've been stung a few times. Might have a cut on my head. Yeah, I'm going to come through this day now. I haven't been through it. Right. Get through this fence. I think we actually might be out on the scarp slope at last. Well, I got through. That is an environment perfect for rabbits. I've come across lots of rabbit holes. Sorry if I've disturbed them. That is not designed for humans. I'm scratched, stung, torn. I ended up crawling through this gap, which I've partially made myself. I won't confess to that. Literally pushing my rucksack ahead of me to crawl through on my belly at one point. Oh dear. Anyway, this is not designed for human beings. Perfect environment for rabbits. I'm really sorry to any I've traumatised coming through their habitat, because this really is ideal for rabbits at the bottom of the hill here, even more than the top of the hill, which is there. And I've got lots of flies buzzing around me for some reason. Right, now it really is time for lunch. Just looking around you here, you see these downland plants. I'm not familiar with them, but no doubt there are plants here that Richard Adams describes in the book. And at this late time of year, if you recognise any of them, let me know. Even though the environment is starting to get a bit burnt out now, it's it's getting towards the end of summer, early autumn. Still plenty of colour here on the slope of the downs. And just through a gap in the trees there, you can see Nuthanger Farm. They're belted trees at the top of the lane there, and the lane up to Nuthanger Farm. Can't see the iron tree from here. There's a car at the bottom lane just going up. So yeah, we've got a clear line of sight of our route there. Fiver, let me get this right. You want us to climb up this place? That's as much as you're going to get quoted from the book today, because I don't have my spare phone and I don't have, so I can't read copy from the book while filming. But we're about to start the climb. Wish me luck. It's very like the Sussex Downs, this kind of slope, this open slope, and you get these hillocks occasionally, caused by what kind of plant I don't know, somebody might be able to tell me, but these lumps that occur, some kind of undergrowth causes that. I haven't researched that, but you can see this is the incline, and there in the distance you can see another scarp slope, possibly not quite as steep as the downs in Sussex. We can get really steep, but no, I'm not showing off. Yeah, this is steep. And there's the other way heading to the east. Standing on one of these lumps. In the Netflix series they sit on boulders on the slope, but actually these would have been far more realistic for them to sit on, looking at the view. Little platform from which you can begin to see the whole world. And there's a tractor down there in the field we were walking across. So the world is revealing itself. And here, halfway up the slope, is a rough hole with lots of chalk in it. The same as they discover halfway up the slope. They discover some holes, but this is just one. Possibly another attempt at one there. Very chalky. Don't know if it's currently used. These are the holes that they Hawkbit finds, I think it is, that rescues them helps them on the first night on the downs. Later on, of course, they discover fly earth in Tales from Watership Down in these holes. So this is how far up we are. About halfway up. And there they are, or at least one hole. You can see the chalk in the hole there. You can see how chalky it is. And you can see here some kind of path, which I doubt is a human path. Some kind of possible wildlife path used by rabbits, I don't know. It goes right down the hill. Seems to go right down to the bottom. Seems too narrow for humans. There's a human path here that gets you up to the gate through the gallops. But this one, yeah, I think is a wild creature created path, whether by rabbits or not. And a human path, I've seen one on the downs in Sussex like this, but this one obviously doesn't seem to be actively used because it's a bit overgrown. Follows this line here, but certainly I think it was a path at one point. There's another one over there, there's a public footpath further to the east, but this one I think has fallen into disuse. And there's the wildlife path up. I'm going to keep following that, seems appropriate. No barbed wire this time. Oh goody. Come and look. You can see the whole world. Oh, that's a line I've been waiting to say today. A great relief. The wind has suddenly increased, so there might be a lot of wind interference on this. Hopefully it's not too bad. There's one of the jumps, because these are gallops here. So I've got to get through the gallop fence. But we're at the top of Watership Down. And over there is Watership Down, where the Warren was itself, where those trees are. And here we are again at the tree, famous tree from my video I made 3 years ago, nearly 2.5 years ago. The tree that was replanted after the original blew down. Once again, this tree is the site of the Warren in the film. So the dog has to come up the down here. It's a straight line, you can't see Nuthanger from here. This fence wasn't here when the book was written, I'm assuming. Straight through, and it's a straight line to this tree here where Blackberry goes underground and the dog rips apart General Woundwart's army and presumably kills General Woundwart, or does he? Now of course that's in the film, but in the book, as I said last time, it's over there. The northeast corner of the beach hanger. The last time I was here in 2023, March I think, the leaves weren't out, so it'd be nice to see the beach hanger with the leaves out. And it's nice to see this tree with its leaves out. Coming up the slope, I thought it was hawkbit who found the holes halfway up the slope. I believe it was buckthorn, just to correct that. Anyway, there's the tree, and inevitably we'll look at the names. Bigwig, Fiver, Hazel, Keyhar scratched in here somewhere. Eric Steps said he put some markings around here somewhere, but there's brambles here so I can't see through, but somewhere there is what Eric Steps wrote on it. Any others? There's Keyhar there, and never seen this one. Hazel, but why are you sitting up there, Dandelion? Because I can see, come and look, you can see the whole world. I never noticed that one before, maybe it wasn't here last time. I'll check the film. And the plaque, in recognition of Richard Adams, over Watership Down and its inhabitants, May 2013. I think this was put up when this tree was planted. I think, I'm not sure. Any others around here? I can't see any other inscriptions. But yeah, it's a very special place. And of course, to clarify, Hazel comes from that direction when he's released by Dr. Adams and Lucy. He comes from the road there, which I did consider coming up today, but I didn't in the end. The sky's looking quite dark. British summer, eh? Anyway, we've arrived, and we've rescued the Warren from the 1978 film, now to reach the Warren of the book. And this is the northeast corner of the beach hanger. It looks a lot better than it did in March 2 years ago. The northeast corner, it was a bit of a mess, so it's not really very accessible in there. I think lots of trees have fallen down since the book was written. The northwest corner over there is where there are actually rabbits living. And this whole belt of trees here, as I said before, doesn't seem to have been here 50 years ago. that's grown since, so it's a lot more enclosed than you expect. But anyway, around here is where now I said blackberry, of course, at the other tree over there. It wasn't, it was Heisensley. Heisensley goes to ground. Here, that's in the 1978 film, here in the book is where blackberry goes to ground and Woundwart's army are decimated. Now I'm going to go into the beach hangar and have a bit of a sit down because I think I've earned it. One thing I noticed in the beach hangar 2.5 years ago, and I didn't comment on it at the time, was this strange brick structure, which is right at the top of the beach hangar. Not sure what it is, somebody might be able to tell me. It's right by where I've been sitting, it's right at the top. So yeah, clearly the beach hangars have a more interesting history than is apparent. So then, that's it. I haven't brought any books with me this time. I don't have my spare phone, so I can't read any extracts out. This one was planned a little bit on the hoof, so I didn't bring everything I meant to. But I have walked from Nuthanger Farm to Watership Down, and I hope you've enjoyed sharing this journey with me. It's been the most exhausting yet, but worth it. Definitely worth it. I'd love to see the beach hangar in summer, even though it's cloudy and windy. British summer. And almost inevitably, for a Watership Down podcast video, we've got rain. Of course we have. To be fair, we didn't have when I went to Africa, but yeah, I think we have every other time. End of August, and this wasn't forecast, so I'm going to wait till this passes. I didn't bring a raincoat inevitably, because I decided to believe the weather forecast, so I'm going to get wet yet again. Next time we start looking at the 2023 graphic novel of Watership Down.